How to name numbers, and we're going to learn 3 different ways to name numbers. So first thing what we do is we review our basic place value, starting from the right and working our way to the left. Of course, the first one is the ones place. Now once you collect 10 ones, so 0 through 9 can fit in this slot, but once you get to the 10th, you're going to get a 10, and that becomes the tens place. Same thing, if I get 10 more of them, I get 100, and that's the hundreds place. Then I have 10 hundreds, and that would be the thousands, and then so on with the 10,000s, the 100,000s, the millions, the 10 millions, sorry, the 100 millions, the billions, 10 billions, and 100 billions. Now, if you take a look at these numbers, they're split into groups of 3. Okay, these are called families. This first family is the ones family. The second family is the thousands family. The next group of 3 is the millions family. And the next group of 3 is the billions family. As a 5th grader, you're responsible to know through the billions place. Each comma actually has a name as well, and it's named after the family. So this comma is known as the billions. This comma is known as the millions. And this comma is known as the thousands. Notice that every time you're going to have 3 numbers between commas, except for the ones at the very end. You might just have 1 or 2 or maybe even 3. Okay, a couple of rules that we have to remember when we're naming numbers. Do I use a dash, and when do I use a dash? Whenever you have a y in a number, so like 97, 21, 84, you should always put that dash in there. Do I use commas when writing in word form? Yes, you do. You still use commas. And do I say and when saying a number? You really shouldn't, because and in math, when you're naming a number, means the decimal point. So when we start naming decimal numbers, then we use the word and. Alright, so here I have a number, and this is written in standard form. That means just a regular old number. And we start from the left to the right, and we look at the families first. So this first family has a 38 in it. So we say 38. Then we name the comma, and that would be million. The next family looks like it's 900 in that family, and the comma's name is thousand. And then the last group of 3, the family here, just says 20. So if we start over again, this would be 38,900,000. 20. Now remember, it's not and 20. So when you're naming numbers, when you're naming numbers, you can write it in standard form or in word form. If you said all of those, wrote it as words, what I just said, 38,900,020. Okay, now we also have something called expanded notation. And expanded notation is actually pretty simple as well. 783, so what you do is you start with the left and you work your way to the right, and we'll do that one here. And you start with the first digit, so I see a 7. So I write down my 7, and I'm going to multiply it by what place value it's in. Well, this is in the ones, tens, hundreds place. So 7 in this instance is actually 7 times 100, and then we also put that in parentheses. Then we're going to add on the next digit. Well, the next digit over is an 8. So I'll put that digit down, the 8. And I'm going to multiply by what place value it's in. So it looks like ones, tens. So since it's in the tens place, I'm going to multiply it by 10. And put parentheses around that. Because 8 times 10 is 80. And that's what that 8 stands for. Then I'm going to add on the last digit I have here, and that's the 3. And I'm going to multiply the 3 times its place value. Well, that's an easy one. That's in the ones place, so it's 3 times 1, since it's in the ones place, and that's 3. This is called expanded notation. We just break it down by the digit times its place value. And if you actually did the math here, that would be 700, this would be 80, and this would be 3. And then I added them all together. 700 plus 80 plus 3 would be 783. So that's how you do expanded notation. So now you should know how to say a number, write it in standard form, write it in word form, and write it in expanded notation.